The last Wilderson, the first female commander of American Legion Post 56 in their 102-year history. So that the other $5 goes to Nancy O'Connor. Any other happy dollars? If not, Queen of Hearts. Okay, who's got the highest card? Highest card.
That's pretty good. Looks pretty good. All there's an ace.
Over here.
Sorry.
Least you go, oh.
Yeah. Oh, he's a double.
Eight of Hearts.
Again? He's in hers.
Yeah, Ace of Clubs.
She's very
So
lucky.
Ace of Hearts, nobody, the only one that can beat you is an Ace of Spades. All right, Thumb's the winner.
Again.
Again,
Okay.
this is the third week in a row.
She's taking over from Jackie.
Someone needs to shuffle that deck.
Seven of diamonds.
Sorry, John.
You win $9 for today.
All right, our guest speaker today is Robert Sabatini. Representing both the Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce and the Eastern Shore Tourism Commission. So Robert, you can just say a little bit about yourself and we'll work with you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, first, let me thank Mr. Bill Payne for inviting me here this afternoon, and thank all y'all for giving me a little bit of time to give you some updates on the Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce and the Tourism Commission. A lot of exciting things going on with both organizations. But to Bill's point, a little background on myself. My family and I moved here. We live in Machipongo in Vaucluse, full-time in April of 2021. We had purchased a home here in September 2017, and since that time, we were always, coming here, vacation, holidays, wanted to make that a reality. So before becoming the director for the Chamber and Tourism Commission, I was in higher education and served as the dean of students at Hampton City College in Farmville. COVID happened. I also became the lead contact tracer there. We stayed in person at Hampton City. We very much believe learning, teaching happens just like we're doing right now, face to face. Although the online has its role, face to face is where individuals learn. Plus, the revenue from room and board totaled out to about $10 million. Needed that. That was people. That was people at that time. If we did not have our students there full time, then we would have furloughed a lot of folks. And we looked at this and said, we're gonna tough it out. So we were isolating, quarantining, or I was doing that full time for almost 2 years since the pandemic started. All students, all faculty, all staff, and we actually housed them there on campus. It's quite an experience, but it wore me out. And in February of 2021, I just hung up with a student, hung my phone up with a student. It was about 8 o'clock at night. He'd gotten sick. So I was getting all his close contacts. My children at the time, one is 13, the other is 11 now. But they were young, they could recite the full isolation and quarantine spiel that I would lay out. So I looked at my wife and she said, I think it's time. So I did, and we started talking about the Eastern Shore, which we absolutely love it over here. So started looking, the Chamber Tourism Commission had the position open. I threw my hat in, and luckily they still like me. I'm still here. So I've been here full time since April of 2021. The Chamber of Commerce, our mission is to serve, promote, and connect the businesses and communities on the Eastern Shore. We do that through a variety of different ways. We do a lot of major events. You probably heard of Chamber Fest. That was just here in Cape Charles in this past May. Previously, we had been in Nancock, so we try to balance between both counties to make sure that our events are helping across the entire Eastern Shore. But we had a Little River Band here. We also had Firefall, if you recall. Had right around 1,100 people attend, and they came from all over the country, all over the United States. Folks from Maine, Connecticut, Kentucky, Ohio, Georgia, Tennessee, all over. So we were really pleased with that. And a lot of them, which was really nice, it was their first time coming over here and spending the weekend here. So our hope is that they'll come back and spend a week or 2 weeks in Cape Charles and explore the entire Eastern Shore, because we very much have a mentality of a rising tide lifts all boats. So that's one example. We also have a bicycle ride, the Tour de Shore. That occurs in a Nancock, really successful. That was just in June. We had 311 riders come, went all up and down the entire shore. There's 4 routes, 25 kilometer, 50 kilometer, 100 kilometer, and 100 mile. We put a lot of time and effort into that, painting the roads, having rest stops for these bicyclists, but they absolutely love it. It's a very nice event for us. We've also got a golf tournament that's coming up here in August. And then we picked up 2 additional events just a couple years ago. We actually absorbed the Northampton County Chamber of Commerce. And we were talking a little bit about the Northampton County Chamber just a bit ago. But the one coming up in October is the Eastern Shore Agricultural Fair. And we do that at the old Machipongo Middle School. And the last 2 years, we've had over 1,000 folks attend, lots of families. If you've never been, I highly encourage you to come. Really the old time country fair. If you'll recall, there's a skillet throwing competition, a keg rolling competition, pole climbing demonstration from A&N Electric, antique tractor parade, numerous vendors, horseback riding, face painting for kids, and animal petting zoo. So we really go all out, and we really want to highlight the agricultural and aquacultural, both of those industries that are so vital here on the shore and what our farmers do. So that is a very big one for us. And then lastly, we partner with Bakery here in Cape Charles, and we do the Holiday Homes Tour. And we just brought that back this last December. It was a great kickoff to the holiday Christmas season. And that was very successful, and a big thank you to the folks there at Bakery. They do a phenomenal job. But folks from really across the bay, what happens there, we select 5 homes in Bakery. And folks, really, a lot of them from across the bay come over, spend the day, spend the weekend. They get ideas on homes, kitchens, living rooms, patios. A lot of them, several of them have interest in purchasing a home here on the shore after they've actually seen it and been here. A lot of them just in Virginia Beach have never been over here. So we're really looking to expose the shore to a lot of different folks through our events and really connect them with our community. Additionally, we want to market and advertise for our members, our businesses here on the shore. We've got a lot of extraordinary businesses, small businesses, and we want to highlight what they're doing here in the community and the importance of them, because those are the individuals, and y'all already know what I'm getting ready to say, know this very well. The small organizations, the small businesses, they're the ones that support the little leagues. They're the ones that support the fire departments. They're the ones that support Eastern Shore Coalition Against Domestic Violence. It's the groups right here, just like you, that support each other here on the shore, and how important that is to our whole culture, heritage, and way of life. So we do a lot of marketing, advertising for them, social media, newsletter, our website, radio, newspaper, help them get in with the Eastern Shore Post. They were very gracious, in all new chamber members receive a certain amount of free ads to kick it off. And we've got a lot of great partnerships, with the Post being one of them, and thank Jim for that. But that's some of the marketing and advertising that we do for businesses. We also do a lot of educational programming through what's called lunch and learns. And that can range, so I go out, I try to meet with a lot of our businesses, hear what's, exactly what's going on, what are they experiencing, what are their hardships? And that can range from, how do I, as a restaurant, navigate the increase in minimum wage? How does Small's Barbecue deal with, okay, the minimum wage is going up, I've got to pay my employees more. My menu prices are gonna have to go up, but nobody is gonna pay $25 for a barbecue sandwich. They're just not gonna do it. So how do I still, I've gotta figure this out, I've gotta pay my people, but I've gotta increase my costs at my restaurant. How do I do that? Well, you're absolutely correct. Folks will not pay $25 for a barbecue sandwich, but they will pay 75 more cents for that sweet tea. You start looking at it from that angle, and that's what we try to help our businesses with, to make sure that they can still provide the same quality of service, both with their employees and their food. So we'll do a lunch and learn around that, and talk to them about strategies and how to help them. Health insurance is always a big one. We actually just partnered with the Virginia Chamber, and we created a group of chambers across Virginia, and we're actually able to offer health insurance to chamber members, which is a big one. That is very big to our small businesses. I can tell you that right now is healthcare. And that is a huge success story. We should probably make that bigger than what it is from the chamber's standpoint, but chamber members can opt into a health insurance plan, and we're really, really proud of that. Shifting gears slightly to the tourism, we promote tourism here on the shore. We are constantly meeting with different groups, Main Streets, Cape Charles Main Street, and Hancock Main Street, folks up in Chincoteague, and promoting folks as much as we can. We're very proud of the literature and information that we disperse, not just only here on the shore, but across Virginia. We go up into Pennsylvania, all through the Northeast. We really pushed North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Southwest Virginia. There's a big group there that, and I can tell you right away, they go to Myrtle Beach. And it's the exact same distance from Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee as it is to here. So we need to start pulling those people in. They're hardworking people that live out there. History and culture is important to them, and they take care of what they've got. They've worked hard for it. So absolutely, we want those people to come over here because they're going to do the exact same thing when they visit. So that's a little bit of our strategy on the tourism side. We also do a tourism summit in February. We've done that the last, going on now 3 years. All three have been very successful. We bring an outside speaker in. It's usually a fairly big name in the tourism industry, and folks are able to come in and listen to them. And then we have smaller workshops for our businesses and industry partners on some of the tourism trends that are going on. We also have a very close relationship with the Virginia Tourism Corporation. Virginia's for Lovers, you all know the tagline, that's them. There's a lot of grants that are out there for our businesses. Both organizations, Tourism Commission and Chamber, we want to make sure our businesses and organizations know we're a resource, service. What can we do for y'all to make you better to expand your business, to promote your marketing, any of those things. So these grants, we assist businesses with actually writing them. We'll edit them, we will take a look at it. I've been known to make a call or two to the Virginia Tourism Corporation if there's a business that really needs it. I'm not above doing that and where we need to. Virginia Tourism Corporation sees the Eastern Shore in a very positive light. I think, and we want to keep it that way. So when we need something, they are willing to help us out as much as they can. So if you know someone that might want to look at a Virginia Tourism Corporation grant, marketing grants, they've got events grants, a variety of different things, please let me know. Again, great staff on both Tourism Commission and Chamber. We want to be a service, a resource to the Eastern Shore. Okay, I kept it under 10 minutes. Questions right now?
And you don't have to keep it to 10 minutes. On tourism,
Yes, sir.
and Robert, you know, I love you. I don't mean to put you on the spot,
No, you're fine.
but short-term rentals has been a big issue.
Yeah.
And let me just say, does the chamber have a position?
So we do not. So there are.
Then you can stop if you don't.
No, and I'll explain, and I'll explain why. We have, as it stands, on the chamber side, 534 members. When I first started in April, it was 370. So we have grown significantly, and we represent a lot of folks. Now, I hear from all sides on this subject.
251, 250 don't. So you're taking up position.
Pretty close, pretty close. But we represent all sides, really. We've got short-term rental folks that are members of the chamber. We've got rental companies that are members of the chamber, the big hotels, the schools, the hospitals that want to see more long-term housing. I hear it from all of them. And our position, we have not taken a formal position, but my hope in hearing, I promise you, I've heard from dozens of people on the subject. I hope we find a balance, because if we do find a balance, and I think it's not reinventing the wheel. I think a lot of communities have already experienced what we are going through right now. We just need to look to them and see what they've done to find that balance. That will help the entire Eastern Shore, not just one side or the other. That would be probably more of my personal position, not necessarily the chamber, but that's after hearing from dozens of people.
I share your personal, I share that position.
Yeah, and people would disagree with me on the whole balance thing, and I know that, but there's got to be one where all folks come out in a positive light, and we continue to grow this place. It grows on the tourism side. It grows on keeping our teachers, our nurses, our doctors here, because they're looking for a place, our workforce housing, an affordable place. There's a difference in all those terms: affordable housing, workforce. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and I don't think a whole lot of people probably have that full picture. So they pick one side or the other. That's my personal.
Thank you.
About. Yes. Good question.
Good answer.
Good. Yes.
How do you all measure tourism? And what's your data showing?
So, good question. How do we measure tourism? What's our data showing us? We have a monthly meeting with the Tourism Commission where we jump into a lot of the data, you know, what's going on in different parts of the shore. We also partner with a third-party group, and we actually track by using this, to see who's coming to the Eastern Shore, how long they're staying, from where. Correct. Cape Charles Main Street has something similar. They track specifically Cape Charles. We look at all of it. One of the biggest spots, most visited spots is actually the, only town center. Roses, Marshalls, everybody from Cape Charles, Chickasha, Nantucket, they all seem to really go there. Yes, where y'all used to be. The exact location where y'all used to be.
Well, it's getting far out.
I mean, it makes sense, it's a mall setting.
And it's hospital too.
Right, it's accessible, it's not too far, it's kind of in the middle, it makes sense. So some of the things we do is putting our literature, making sure it is in that thread, so that when folks from Cape Charles, and vice versa, they come there, they will visit south, and the folks here staying south will go north. So we do measure all that, we're seeing where folks are coming, there's been a big uptick in families coming, makes sense, vacationing, they're wanting to get out, especially here in Cape Charles, we have the demographics, how much they make. We've got quite a bit of data at our hands and at our disposal, and that allows us to put our literature into places that we've not been before. One of them being Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been a big draw. Everybody thinks, well, Virginia Beach, Hampton Roads, Norfolk. Yes, of course, those people are coming over here. We want them to come. They will continue to come. We'll keep our literature and all the advertising marketing that we're doing there. But we're going to branch out a little more into Richmond, Northern Virginia, Pittsburgh, there's a few other places in the Northeast. And interestingly enough, Raleigh, North Carolina is starting to grow the number of folks from there coming over, which is good. So what we're doing in those areas tells me where we're putting our literature is starting to work. Good question.
Tourism Commission, Chamber of Commerce, have two different missions. And they, for Chamber of supporting and growing existing businesses that are here. Tourism, you're reaching out beyond our borders, attracting people coming into the business. So you have a sense of how much time you need to spend from your end of it, one versus the other.
So good question. And I'm going to tell both boards that you asked this question.
I've asked it in the Walton Center for 10 years now.
Yeah, very good. So I have two boards that I report to, the Chamber and Tourism Commissioner, two different entities. Just some background for your question here. Right now, it's set up that 60% of my time is Chamber and 40% of my time is supposed to be tourism. However, I've told both my boards that it's more 50-50. If the Tourism Commission has something major going on and they need me involved, I'm not going to say, well, I've already spent my 40% this week. Absolutely not. It's really more 50-50 in the way it breaks down, and it should be that way. It should never be this 60-40. At one time, it was 70-30 Chamber, 30% tourism. It shouldn't work that way. It should be 50-50 split.
How about shoulder seasons? How much are you looking towards it?
Yeah.
Because obviously summertime, you kind of don't need anymore.
I've heard that a lot. We've got too many. We don't need anybody else. And man, what a good problem to have. When I hear folks say that, that's actually good news to me. So we do promote pushing the shoulder season here on the shore. I think probably once upon a time in Cape Charles, Chickasha, and Nantucket, and maybe not even that long ago, kind of November, December, January, and February was kind of the start of the shoulder season. Well, Cape Charles Main Street has done just a phenomenal job with their Fridays down here, and we support and promote that. It's really shifted what we're seeing more January, February is becoming more of the shoulder season, which is good. Now, on the Chamber side, and really both tourism side, I hear from the businesses, we need a break. we need a break, and they asked for that. They have asked for that for January and February. The Island House Restaurant in Wattsburg, Blake Johnson, he shuts down. He's like, I gotta have a break, I've got to restock everything, we've got to get everything together, because when March, really April starts hitting, they're back into it. So they've asked to, I don't know how much more we need right now, let us have this break. Does that, I don't think, that doesn't stop us from advertising or marketing the shore in January or February. We won't do that, there's a lot of neat stuff to still do. And really too, and I included Hancock in this, but Cape Charles and Chincoteague, even in those 2 months, is still a lot of fun.
We used to close down
Yeah,
January and February.
oh yeah,
Now,
yeah.
we don't.
There are still several many, and I'm looking at the entire shore, that still closed down for a pretty good duration between those 2
And
months.
one reason for that is keeping your key employees.
That is a big one, employees, I hear that
Trying
a
to keep
lot.
the key ones.
We are trying to attract,
Even if you're not making money, at least you're keeping
Yeah.
a key employee.
we're pushing to attract, more people here to the shore. We have declining demographic in both counties. We are losing people. And we've discussed this in both tourism commission meetings and chamber meetings. One group we have under the chamber is called the Young Professionals. And what we're doing right now is going into all the local high schools and talking to the 9th grade through 12th graders and telling them that they can make a good life here on the Eastern Shore. They can stay here and have a good life here on the shore. That doesn't mean they don't, go off, go to college, go do something. You can come back here and be successful. And I'll say this even from my higher ed standpoint, and y'all all probably heard this one time or another, you may have said it, and I'm gonna throw something out there to you. That whole, if you don't go to college, you won't be successful, is the biggest lie we have ever told. One of the biggest lies we have ever told is, and we need to stop it. Because what we're experiencing right now, and I heard this going through high school, all through college, going to success. What we have right now is a shortage in some key areas: electricians, plumbers, HVAC, welders. The list goes on and on. You already know this. It's not just an Eastern Shore thing, it's across the country. What we're experiencing. The older generation, they're starting to retire. The guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s, they're not there to replace them. They're just not there. And we think we've got it bad now. Wait till this older group in their 50s and 60s retires. So if you find a good electrician, a good plumber, HVAC, you better keep them. And you will pay well right now. Those areas are key. And we encourage folks when we go into the high schools to please take a look at those professions. Because we need more of them, the country needs more of them, and we need them in a hurry.
I know the community college is trying to do.
Great partner with the community college, so some great program certifications there. And we, both chamber and tourism, push folks to go in those trades. Good question.
Young people narrow as far as the economy, balanced economy. It's the change in anything to bring more different kinds of industry in us. Like maybe aerospace,
Yeah.
anything, manufacturing.
So, great question. Are we pushing, what are some other types of industry we can have here? We're actually pushing for propane coming in. That would be wonderful. There's a pipeline coming down through Maryland. We'd love to see it come all the way through a lot of folks can tap into that propane line, but we grow a lot of potatoes here on the shore. It'd be wonderful to have a potato chip factory here on the shore, but they will not come in unless there's propane, cheap energy. So we do look for those different things, different types of energy or manufacturing to come in. We've got a great partnership with Wallops Island. They would love to see, you know, some of those things happen there that would help offset a lot of their costs. We do support the both industries really try to support the chicken plants, Purdue and Tyson. They employ so many people from Accomack and Northampton counties. They're the biggest, employer here on the shore. Not to say that there's not things that they can improve upon, but from an employer standpoint, they are the biggest. We do support them, want to see them do well. So we stay very involved with folks here on the shore as far as the manufacturing. I hope that helps some.
Yeah, I was just wondering what you were being towards. What? There's a specific industry that you want to target.
With them coming in,
Yeah,
I think so. What?
Making the up center start. He read the weekly bulletin, on Penny's desk now, so at the yacht center. They've been talking about it in years now. 300-ton crane. But
I guess I'm not too sure like what direction you're.
I was just wondering if you're focused on any other industry.
You know, I don't know, I hear a lot that we need more industry, we need bigger, we need a Target, we need a Lowe's, we need a Home Depot. I'm not sure if you're going down that route, I do hear that a lot. We have not supported that, we need either side. Again, I think the small business, what I touched on, they're the ones that are engaged back to the community. The way we know, those larger industries, manufacturers don't really do that. I think probably both boards of supervisors are on that standpoint as well, very careful. So we try to follow suit.
so Robert, thank you for very enlightening and informative. All our speakers with your own Big Charles Rotary Club coffee cup.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yes, you're welcome. And again, if y'all need anything I can ever do for you, just let me know.
And that's true. Robert will go out of his way to help any business that needs something. So, okay, if not, we stand up and be dismissed by the four-way test. One. Number two. Number three. Number four. Did we have fun? Yes. Thank you.
Come back and take my.
Forgotten it yet.